Logging into the web interface of ETHERLINE GUARD, we need to set the initial password of the web interface. This password should be 8 characters long. You might receive an info box that the teach-in process haven't been started before, which is okay. We didn't teach in a cable yet. For a best experience to use the ETHERLINE GUARD web interface, we recommend to use the Google Chrome browser. First of all, we have on top left a menu, a home screen. We have some settings for the device. We have LAN configuration options to be set on the Wi-Fi version of ETHERLINE GUARD. Here will be not LAN configuration options, it will be Wi-Fi configuration options. Furthermore, we have the menu point for updating firmware. We have SD card options if we want to use an SD card for logging purpose. And last but not least, we can leave the web interface by using logout. But back to the home view. The home view is showing us the general status of the device, the ETHERLINE GUARD, which is okay in that case. And yeah, showing with a flashing red and green because we didn't do the teach-in yet, and it's showing a value of 0. After you successfully do a teach-in with a good cable, the cable status should show 100%. The next box is also related to this cable status, but it comes in a graphic. The graph will start at 100% and then with the time will decrease depending on your application down, and it will be shown here in this graphic. You can see at any time you access the web interface. The next box, link status, is telling us, are the links installed, the link, respectively your patch cords, are they set and connected? In our case, we don't have now installed the patch cords, the links to control and also know to the application which from the bottom port, which is marked with guard. That's why it's shown here the link is down, or both links are down, and the LED is flashing red. If the links are installed, it will show a flashing LED green, and here link up. Furthermore, we have working time of the cable. This will be displayed as per days, hours, and minutes. And last but not least, the device properties, which are fixed, set. The serial number first of all, then we have the LAN MAC address and the hardware version of the device, which could be important to know for support purpose. As we mentioned the support purpose, I might highlight you this landing page mentioned on the top right bottom of the web interface. Here you can find more information concerning ETHERLINE GUARD, but also some contact details. Let's step into the next menu section, which is settings. Settings is starting with the option to change the web interface password. You can click on change password, reset your password, and you're done. Most important point here might be for you to set alarm threshold for Q1 port. The alarm threshold comes as a default value of 80%, which from our perspective is the best value to go. This means that Q1 will give you an alarm after your cable is decreasing in its condition from the teach in 100% down to 80%, for example. You can reset this value higher, or you can even go significantly down. The lowest value is 21% because lower than this value, from our point of view, this doesn't make sense to run the cable. Next box gives you the option to upload certificates and keys for securely use of the web interface, because we use here the HTTPS protocol for secure connection and secure communication. Therefore, you could upload the certificate here in that section. The next box shows us some cloud protocol features, which is the MQTT option. By default, it's turned off, but you can turn it on and set your dedicated MQTT broker address, the MQTT broker port, and if you want to go for, you even can use TLS for secure communication, similar to the box before. You can upload the specific certificates for TLS communication. Last but not least, we have two buttons to do the teach-in via the web interface, the teach-in of your to be monitored cable. That's important. And you can do a soft reset of the device. Let's step into the LAN configuration. LAN configuration gives you the option to either use a DHCP server for IP settings or to do your IP settings by your own. If you enable DHCP server, of course, all the options are gone because this will be handled by the DHCP server. If you turn DHCP off, which comes as a default, IP address needs to be set. Of course, there is a default IP address, which you can see here. That's the default device IP address, which we used for login purpose right before, the 192.168.0.32. Take care that LAN version and Wi-Fi version for accessing web interface have different IP addresses. So in case, don't do the mistake and use the same IP address. It might not work, but it's always mentioned on the right side plate of the ETHERLINE Guard device. Furthermore, you can set the subnet mask if necessary and also a gateway address. ETHERLINE Guard gives you the option of accessing web interface either via LAN port or via Wi-Fi access point. Here we have the Wi-Fi configuration, which is only shown, of course, if you use the Wi-Fi version of ETHERLINE Guard. Wi-Fi configuration gives you the opportunity to select either to use it as an access point, which is the default setting, or to use it as a client in an existing Wi-Fi network, or to use it as both of it, access point and client. Even that is possible. ETHERLINE Guard is showing you in the boxes here the SSID should be selected if you use it as an access point. By default, it always comes as LAPP underbar followed by the serial number and the option to change the Wi-Fi password. Please take care, this is the Wi-Fi access point password, not the web interface password. That's a different one, which is being set under the setting menu point. connecting to an access point, which is the option as a client working. You can select a Wi-Fi network to connect with. Or again, you also can use DHCP server. If you turn the DHCP server off, it's similar to the LAN settings. You can set the IP address, you can set a subnet mask and a default gateway for the device. The change of the password for the access point is here. You see the SSID, but then you can select a password of your choice. If you want to select a Wi-Fi network to connect with in a client mode, there will be this kind of info box, and you can connect the device to a Wi-Fi network in your area. Last but not least, there's also the option to fully turn off Wi-Fi at the device. So there will be no Wi-Fi access anymore available. So please handle with care. If you want to enable again the Wi-Fi option, you can do this using the set button on the device. How to do it, it's described in the leaflet coming with the product, but also in the user manual. Next menu point, here we can upload some new firmware if available. Again, for new firmware, please check our landing page. This will be highlighted on the landing page as soon as it's available, and you just have to save it to your computer and upload it into the ETHERLINE Guard. Next step, SD card. First of all, the box shows general SD card information. So means here is an SD card installed or mounted. In our case here, it's not mounted. If you have installed an SD card, it will show SD card mounted. As we use the SD card for a log file logging purpose, we have to set also some log level. What are we going to log on that file? So it's just errors or warnings or infos, some debugging and many more. You can select in that selection box. For securely removing the SD card, we recommend to use the eject button. Last but not least, last option is to log out of the web interface, and that's it. We see the web interfaces, whether of the LAN version or the Wi-Fi version of ETHERLINE Guard, give us multiple options to do settings. May I recommend you for installing purpose also our video, which is called the ETHERLINE Guard cable monitoring. It's available on YouTube LAPP channel. For further information, you could also access our landing page. Here you find more detailed information. You find also all the documentation, the leaflet which comes with the product by default, but also the user manual which describes all these steps and in even more detailed way. Now I want to thank you for your attention and wish you successful work with ETHERLINE Guard.